Chapter 2, A Touch of Evil. Riverdale has really come in this episode. This is way better than the first episode. There's a lot that it fixed that I had problems with in the first episode, and I'm really starting to like this series more than I thought I would. Overall, the episode was well done. There's a lot more character development, a lot more good things happening with the characters, especially the problems I had with Betty originally in the first episode. She seemed really one note, always trying to cling on to Archie, how she pines for him, how she wants to be with him, and then when she confronts him in the first episode and he says no, it was really intriguing to see where her character would go after that, and she did really good. She held her own against Cheryl. She held her own against Veronica. She's becoming a very well-done character. I'm glad to see that. Betty is becoming the it girl of this show. She's not my favorite female character on the show. I still like Veronica more, and Veronica did really well in this episode too. Both of these two have really good chemistry together, and I was really excited to see that again in this episode. And we're seeing a lot more of the friendship between them. There was one line that Veronica said that I really enjoyed, and that was like, I feel like me and Betty were destined to be friends forever. And it's exactly their relationship throughout the comics and all the forms of the story of these characters, is that they always been friends, but they had the rivalry for Archie, and it was always been intriguing. So it was nice to see that be played out in this episode, that they're going to be more of the friends than fighting for Archie. But let's face it, they will be fighting for Archie at some point. Maybe if we get a season 2, we could see that happening. But I think for this season, we're going to see Archie with Miss Grundy. And I don't hate Miss Grundy. I like the character. I understand what they're trying to do with the character. I don't like the storyline, and I still don't. It's the one thing on this show that really bothers me, and I don't really care for where it goes. I'm glad Archie is starting to accept that he should tell people what he heard, but that might not be important with what happened at the end of the episode. There was a lot of good things in this episode. I wish we saw more of Luke Perry. He's my favorite character on the show. He just stole it in the first episode, and in this episode, I wish I saw more of him. And what we did see, I was good with. Same with Hermione Lodge. I like those two characters the most so far, the parents, to say that. And I'm excited to see where this could go. I feel like there could be some relationship between Hermione and Fred, but I don't think we will get there. The other thing is, Archie is becoming better. I am okay with the character and what he does now. I don't hate the voice. I had a problem with it at first. It's growing on me now. I think he's a good main character to follow for this series, because if we were following anybody else, I feel like it could be a little hard to understand because their story doesn't really matter. But Archie is very prominent. He's a very important character, and I am excited to see where his story goes, probably more than I was last week when we first watched it. And I have to say, Jughead really surprised me in this episode. I thought he was just going to be upset all the time, and I'm glad his relationship with Archie resolved at the end of this episode. I did not want to see a full season of these two being against each other, not happy with each other, so I'm glad they resolved themselves and they can be friends now. And the end scene with all four of them in the Pop's shop, Betty, Veronica, Archie, and Jughead, was one of my favorite scenes in this episode. It just felt good to see all these characters together, starting to be friends, and that old feeling of the Americana that we're familiar with. It was really nice. Another thing I really liked that really surprised me, and I didn't think they'd do this, is Josie and the Pussycats. I didn't talk about them in the first episode. They didn't really have a major role. I'm okay with it. I like that they're an all-black cast of the band, I mean, and it's really nice to see that. But they sang Sugar Sugar by the Archies, that old song, redone, of course. They remade it a bit, and it was really good to see. It was really nice to hear that, too, because it seems like they are going to take some stuff from the old Archies, some of that stuff. It was really nice to see. All the characters felt real this time. I'm not a big fan of Cheryl. I still think Cheryl is annoying. She's a bitch. I don't like her character. But we had a very emotional moment with her in this episode when she finally realizes that she still misses Jason. She wants to still have Jason in her life. I feel like there's more between the relationship with her and Jason that we will see. I'm not saying that they were incestuous, but it is a possibility. I always got that. They're twins. I don't know. I just felt that between everything I've seen on screen of Jason and Cheryl, and I'm not okay with that, but if it happened, I wouldn't be surprised. It would be an interesting twist, I think. And all of the characters in this episode just felt more fleshed out, they felt more developed, and they feel like they're going to get more interesting. Betty standing her own was really good to see, and I'm glad we saw that. I feel like she's going to meet her sister, and I want to see where that goes. This episode really just set up the world that we're in. We're going to see more of it, And I just got to understand now that the titles, Chapter 1, Chapter 2, it's because it's from Jughead's novel. I just got that, and I'm okay with that. It's an interesting concept. I still don't want to see Jughead narrate the whole thing, but I can handle it if he does. And character of Reggie, who I had problems with at first, there was nothing with him. We've seen a little bit more of him, and I'm glad he's not a main character. I don't want to see him being the main character, one of the main characters, because it would get repetitive, it would get annoying. But I'm glad to see that he actually is a dick, and he's a douche, and he's not just some jock who's stupid who hangs out with Moose. So it was nice to see even him get fleshed out. All these characters did really good, and this is becoming one of my favorite shows of the season. It's definitely in my top 3 favorite new shows this year. The same thing I can say about Reggie, I can say about Moose. I feel like we're going to learn a lot more about Moose. Kevin still can have more going on besides being the stereotype gay character. I was surprised to see that his dad was the sheriff. I didn't know that, and I was excited to see that, so that was really nice. But with Moose, he is still with Midge, but he wants to be with Kevin. So if there's something that could happen there, it'd be really nice to see. Moose is a good background character, a good side character, and I'd like to see more happen with Moose. And something I wasn't expecting that really made me happy when I watched this, that was, I didn't know we'd see Principal Weatherby. And when we did see him, I thought it was Samuel L. Jackson at first. Just the way his voice looked, we didn't see like a full shot of him. Like, oh, is that Samuel L. Jackson? Then when we saw him, it was like, okay. And I like the guy that they got playing him. I'm intrigued to see what he does, because he seems to be a little more like stubborn and stern than the bubbling buffoon. I don't know if Mr. Weatherby was a bubbling buffoon, but he seems to be a little more like smart and like headstrong and just better as a overall like lenient person than the other Principal Weatherby from the comics. I still think there's a lot more we're going to find out about all these characters, and it's exciting to see. And at the end, we do find out that it is possible that Cheryl killed her brother. She's taken away. That's an interesting thing. I expected that from the first episode, because what else would have happened? And I'm excited to see where that goes, but he was killed a week later from the supposed incident. That's interesting. And that's one of the things I really liked about this episode. Some of the other things I really liked was the Sugar Sugar song. Yes, that was really nice. The scene where Jughead and Archie are talking, and then Jughead says, we're not going to hug in front of all these people. Let's do that douchey head nod that all the guys do to hide their true emotion. I thought that was really funny. It was really good to see Archie actually starting to want to be a singer and all that, so him playing the guitar, I thought that was really good. I'm excited to see where this show goes. I like what I'm seeing so far. This episode is better than the first one, and I really liked the first one. So this is the must-watch series of the year if you are, I guess, not into some of the more mature adult shows. I highly recommend watching this. It's really good, and I'll see you in the next video. Good luck. Stay tuned for more TV and movie reviews coming soon from this channel. Hope you enjoyed this video.